I've had this Tesla Model 3 Standard Range Plus for 1 year and 4 months almost, and realized I haven't really done a kind of overview long-term video or even thorough article on all of the things about owning the car. So I thought I'd do a quick talk about what it's been like from start to finish. From the very beginning, it's just very super easy to order, the easiest ordering and financing process of a car imaginable. Super low stress, low pressure, fun and quick. So that was easy and nice beginning. Then there was the excitement, of course, of waiting for the car. The delivery was again super easy and quick. There was not, I walked through, looked at the car briefly, checked for any kind of issues, didn't find anything. Signing the papers was quick. So it was really a simple process, painless process. And then I drove away with the car. And I had one article that was very popular, but also a little controversial at the beginning, where I wrote all the problems I have with my new Tesla Model 3 Standard Range Plus, and the article was blank because I had nothing. Had a few little things since then, which I'll talk about briefly, but for the most part, 16 months, I don't have home charging. Again, it's a Standard Range Plus, so now it has 250 miles, I guess. I haven't actually looked. I used the percentage option in the battery, not the miles. And so I don't actually know, but it should be around 250 miles. With no home charging, I charge at stores, grocery stores, parks, and sometimes just have to go to a charger once in a while to make sure I'm charged up. I do a bit more supercharging than, of course, I would if I had home charging. But all the charging stations in my area are free, so I've spent $0 charging in the past 16 months. Supercharging, I'm not sure how many miles I've done. I have referrals, so they have, I have free supercharging. I'm not sure if I would have passed 1,000 miles supercharging, might have. So I would have had to calculate that if I didn't have some free miles from referrals. But yeah, that's been a big benefit, is $0 charging. I charge at the grocery store mostly, the mall. Of course, more so before COVID pandemic, it was quite easy to get a coffee or get lunch and charge in the meantime. Now the process of shopping is very shortened. So that's about it for the charging front. I've had no issues with the charging. Sometimes the supercharger stall is down, but Tesla's excellent about having a lot of stalls at a station, so you really have nothing to worry about. I've never had to wait for a supercharger or had a real problem. You do have to sometimes check to make sure that it's going full power. There were one or two times when I guess the station was not 100%. It was working, but it wasn't working 100%, so it was charging slowly, and I didn't realize it until a while later. It's been one or two times when I actually forgot to plug in. I pulled in, I put on the show for my daughter. My wife is going shopping in the store, Whole Foods, and when she comes out, I realize I never plugged in the car. I think that happened once. So just something to not be an airhead about, As far as issues with the car, not really. I mean, there's a few minor things, and I just recently went to the service center to have a few of them fixed or checked. One was the air conditioner was sort of stinky when you get in the car and turn it on. Sometimes, not always, sometimes. Some kind of mold, mildew in the air conditioning system. Apparently there was a software fix for this that should make it less of an issue, but we're also in Florida, and it's hard to avoid this kind of thing from time to time. So what happens, basically, as I understand it, is, the air conditioner creates a bit of moisture, and when you leave the car and leave the moisture in the car, it can get mildewy or something somewhere in the system. So you just have to have it cleaned once in a while. Or the tip, I asked if there was any tips for it, and the tip was you could turn on the heater for a few moments at the end of a trip before leaving the car, that would get rid of the moisture, which would prevent the problem. But yeah, so we'll see how it goes, see if it comes back. And it wasn't every time we got in the car. I don't really know why. Certain, it depends on the temperature and the air and all that stuff. But that was one issue. They cleaned that out, and that's better. I thought maybe the glove box was. My wife thought it was maybe not. It was like kind of had gotten out of alignment, but I took that to have them look at it, and they said it's like other Teslas, and they even took it apart, put it back, but it's just that's how they are. So somehow we didn't notice for months that it looks like it's got a kind of I think it would be hard to show it. I'll take a picture later, but just a little out of alignment it looks like, but that's just how it is. One of the metal, the chrome trims on the back window, I'll take pictures of this, was just a little bit off, like it got a little loose, so they kind of glued it with some black kind of glue or something back on. And I put my knee hard on the seat at one point, and after that I started having a sort of soft popping noise when I sat down, like a kind of softer though, like very soft. And sometimes when I move around in my seat, they couldn't reproduce that, and I couldn't reproduce it there. And then, as of course, later in the day, it happened again. But it seems like it's fixing itself, because after it happened, it was popping every time, several times, and now it's rarely pops. So I don't know, something in there happened, but it's I don't know. You have to take the whole seat apart. I don't know if it's an issue. It's not really a problem. I just thought, well, I should have it checked before it turns into a problem. But I think that's it as far as issues. Things I guess, first of all, I absolutely love the Model 3. It's the best, nicest, smoothest, most complete car I've ever had. I've had a Model S 2015, and I've driven many BMWs and Mercedes. I rented a lot of cars in Europe when I lived there, and there's no car that's ever compared to the Model 3 in my opinion. The Model Y looks like a nicer option in some regards because it's got more space for a similar price. It's got more space inside, more cargo space. So I think I would be quite tempted for a Model Y if I was on the market, but the Model 3 has a really nice driving feel. It's a car, it's a sporty car, it's really fun and smooth to drive. Everything about it is smooth. The minimalist design I absolutely love. I can't imagine going back to a more cluttered design with all the buttons and knobs and stuff. So I really, really, really love the minimalist design. The screen, the infotainment is just there's nothing. I mean, we use Netflix a lot, YouTube, play some of the games a lot. There's just it's an amazing experience. The sound system is so superb. I have like I said, the standard range plus, so it's not the premium sound, but the sound system is, you feel like you're in your own personal home theater. It's just it's our favorite place to watch something. So it's really an enjoyable feature of the car that is again unmatched in any other vehicle except for the Model Y. The Model S and X also have the same system, but it's not horizontally displayed, as vertical. So I think it's a significant downside of those vehicles, and one that would prevent me from getting one of them over 3 or Y. Of course, that might change for those models soon. We'll see. Not sure. The other thing is the white seats. Was one of the biggest questions. They're so soft. They're so beautiful. Sometimes, like looking into the car from outside, they have this really beautiful kind of look. Again, they're softer than the black vegan leather seats, which are also nice and soft, but there's a little bit of a difference. That's you notice how soft they are routinely, and it's just a really nice feature. I love the white and black. I'll include some pictures, but the white and black kind of contrast is really, really beautiful. So all of that is lovable. I don't have an issue with range or driving, charging. All of that is quite easy because a Tesla, you have supercharger networks. You have other charging stations in my area, at least, that should make it easy. So I don't really have any. I don't have any real complaints. I'm not a big fan of the glossy. That's what I was going to mention. The glossy black, which is no longer on a new Tesla. They've got a matte kind of finish, and I will sooner or later probably have it wrapped with one of these kind of matte options. It would be nice to have the wireless charger, but Tesla now includes that. It would be nice to have the automatic trunk opener. Again, that's something that Tesla now includes in new Model 3s and Ys. There's several aftermarket products which I have and love that I'll do a separate video about. But that's basically it. It's a ton of fun. The kids have fun in it every day. There's features for Tesla features, where there's karaoke or the Santa mode or the fart mode thing, or what was it, emissions mode or something, that's just are routinely fun. The drawing pad, the games, the movies. So there's several elements of it that we enjoy. Basically, we enjoy certain Tesla special features every day. The drive quality is something I enjoy every time I drive. It would be torturous to drive a non-electric for sure, and even going away from a Tesla would be quite painful, difficult, unless it's similar comparable performance model. So that's the sort of the 16-month story. Very little to tell. I just spent $130 at the Tesla Service Center for a tire rotation, my first one, and having them check out those things I mentioned. That's all that I've spent on maintenance in 16 months. Here's another Model 3 driving right by, a white Model 3 from New Jersey. And I think that's the full story. So trying to think if there's any last minute. I guess all of the updates. So, the car is actually tremendously better than it was when I bought it. There have been so many updates. Several of the things I talked about, it's got more range, Netflix, YouTube, all this stuff wasn't there. Full self-driving features have improved. So there's several more features in that regard than when I got it. It got more efficient, which added the range, a little more performance, a little quicker. So it's a constantly improving car. And, I heard about this a lot before having a Tesla, and even when we had one that I shared. But when you have one that you drive every day, it's funny because it's really hard to explain. But the process of getting an update, the excitement about it, the fun of installing it and then checking out the new features and enjoying the new features, it really reminds you of like getting a Christmas morning or something, getting a kind of new car with whole new car. It's just a really large benefit of a Tesla that, again, you can't get in anything else right now. Some Volkswagen ID models and Ford Mustang Mach-E will supposedly have software updates. We'll see how substantial they are, how interesting they are. But this is definitely a major benefit. I do not have the premium. I don't pay $10 a month for the premium features because, although they're better than not having them, I just don't really need them, or I don't really see a need for them. Don't really even necessarily want them. So like the one that would be most interesting is just having the kind of satellite view of the navigation of the map, but I hardly ever even use that anyway. So it was it's not something to pay for, in my opinion. But that's it. So in Florida here, it gets hot, and it's very, very hot several months of the year, and we didn't tint the glass roof. So what we did, the heat does come through. So what we did was we started using these super sun shields that we got from EVNX, and they really do a tremendous job of keeping the car cooler, blocking out the heat. I highly recommend putting that in this area, at least the roof area, in hot climates at hot times. And I got that tip from Danny Parker. He did a great series on the Tesla efficiency, on Tesla Model 3 efficiency. But I think we might have had the idea anyway, but I'm not sure. But it definitely he recommended it and really pushed me to do it, and I was really happy when I finally did. So it's a good option to do. You can get all different ones to block different windows, but the key ones are the roof windows. And I guess that is one of the downsides. The other downside, I guess, about the car that we noticed right away, it is quite loud when you're driving fast. You hear the road noise and the wind noise a bit. So it's very quiet, of course, silent driving at low speeds, but at high speeds, it's quite loud. And I know that's something that has been improved. They've added more insulation. I'm not sure. It was unclear if that happened right before or right after we got our car. So I'd have to test drive some older ones and some newer ones to see. But I would assume even with the newer ones, it's something noticeable. What I've heard is it's still noticeably, you can hear quite a bit of road and wind noise when you're driving fast, and definitely in the model I have. So it's one of the few things that I think could really have been done a bit better, but I'm sure Tesla was trying to keep costs down, and that was one way they did so back then. So that's it. Yeah, the car is absolutely it's feels like the best car in the world, I think, even though it's quite affordable. $40,000 base price for this model. We do have the full self-driving and the white seat, so that adds several thousand. And it's technically super safe, and we have had several instances where this driver assist features helped a great deal to prevent an accident, probably, or at least possibly, where, for example, I didn't see something far up ahead that the car somehow saw and braked for. And it's just the driver assist, the lane keeping and all that stuff helps a great deal to keep your attention focused on what can happen around the car rather than just keeping it in the lane. And some people are concerned that this gets you less attentive. I think I'm more attentive. I can see a lot more. I can scan a lot more. I especially love the lane change feature because it helps me to make difficult lane changes at night or in the rain or even in the daytime that just feel, let the car do it. I know the car sees everything. I know it has much better vision than I have, and it has a nice, smooth approach to doing that now. So I heavily love it, enjoy it, and look forward to the full self-driving package updates, the beta, the more advanced beta update that will allow it to do even more. So thank you for listening. Hopefully this was helpful. This is, I think, everything I can think of about 16 months of ownership with a Tesla Model 3 Standard Range Plus. And like I said, I'll have a separate video on all of the aftermarket products I'm using. Thank you very much. Check out cleantechnica.com for more coverage, and we have a long-term review series we have 2 Tesla Model 3 long-term review archives and Tesla Model 3 Standard Range Plus long-term review, so you can see a lot of articles about ownership of the car and different specific features or pros and cons. Thank you very much.